upon the varsity that moves Mappa be upgraded and his disputes
these machines of this project
to the basic.
All those who have won prizes,
favorable laws. I'm running from always.
All of us here, we have your parents here that brought coolers from home and everything. We want to enjoy it. To have that merriment. Standards. When God wants to drill a man, bring a man, and skill a man. When God wants to mold a man, play the best part. When He wants His heart to create, so great and mold the man that all you want to understand.
Hello. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You are all warmly welcome to this important occasion. And I would like to inform you that at any moment from now, the program will commence. If this is your first time of coming to this university, you are most warmly welcome to Hydra-headed University. Our university is a leadership development university where we build competence graduates, confident graduates. So, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, you are all warmly welcome to our university. Let me quickly introduce some personalities we have in the hall here. And as soon as I have more names, I will introduce them. Let me first and foremost recognize the presence of Olori Rachel Palai, the Olori of Luabo, and the Hydra of St. David Cathedral. Mama, you are most welcome. Please, you can do more for them, please. I also have the honor to welcome to this university Honorable Justice Lanre Akredolu, former Chief Judge of Ondo State. Mommy, you are most welcome. I also welcome Mr. Modupe Fasoranti to this hall. You are most welcome, sir. I also recognize the presence of Mrs. Grace Ashake. You are most welcome, ma'am. Please, you can do more. And it is also my honor to welcome all Fasoranti family at any moment in this hall. You are all the program organizers. You are most welcome. If this is your first time coming to this university, it is also my pleasure to welcome Mr. Delegate Modupe. I recognize here. And I would like to also have in our midst, this is your first time coming to this university, and members of DIPA, Live Bible Church. Recognize you. Most welcome. It is also my honor and privilege to welcome our Sunday at the Jimo the Third, the Alalefa Bravo, KBC, the most welcome. Let us welcome the KBC in its usual way, please. I also want to recognize those are wearing, I think, a big blue and white blue at this side. They are Hydra Progressive Union. We recognize you. You're most welcome. I also want to welcome former Deputy Vice Chancellor of this university, Professor Mrs. Luyamizi Adebowale. You're most welcome. Sitting next to him, to her, is another Deputy Vice Chancellor, DBC CAT, Professor Francis Oyebade. You're most welcome, sir. My big brother is sitting down there, Professor Lumekun. We recognize you. I said we recognize you. Professor Afolabi, you're most welcome too. And Professor Edudoyi, you're most welcome. Professor Udotua, most welcome. Professor Afolabi, another distinguished academic over there. I also want to recognize the presence of my former boss, Dr. Gabriel Ayimoro. Okay? You're most welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice Chancellor procession will soon arrive and will soon march into this hall. As soon as they enter, let us rise and remain standing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome to our midst Obasanya official, the maternal head of Professor Fasoranti. You're most welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to welcome this university, all the Omotoriogun and kings from Ifra. You are all well recognized and you're most welcome. Professor Benson, good morning. I'm still looking for a place to sit. You're most welcome, sir. Come and sit at the top here. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice Chancellor of the session will be in this hall in the next few minutes. As I've said, as soon as they enter, please let us rise. We'll remain standing. We'll take the national anthem, we'll take the AAUA anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, Vice Chancellor session already on their way to this hall. When they enter, let us all rise and remain standing. I also have the honor to welcome in our midst the wife of our Vice Chancellor. The last time the BC called her babe. Madam Chief Mrs. Helen, you're most welcome. I can't call you babe, ma. Yes. When a guy comes in now, she'll call you babe. Please, those of us that are sitting at the far end, please, let's try as much as possible to come and fill the vacancy at the front. Please, let's find a place to sit. The Vice Chancellor procession, very close. Let's find a place to sit, please. Please, shall we all rise and remain standing? Thank you, our great Boys Brigade band. We take the national anthem and AAUA anthem. very much. Our great voice brigade. Please pray be seated. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. And let me say, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of this university, Professor Olubenga Ike, I warmly welcome you all to the 24th Inaugural Lecture of our university. Today's inaugural lecture is titled Rural Poverty, Incapacitating the Hydra-headed Monster. The lecture will be delivered by Professor Mary Modupe Fasoranti. She is the Professor of Development Economics. Please let's give her a round of applause. And of note, Professor Fasoranti is the second female professor to deliver inaugural lecture in Modupe Fasoranti University. Yes, the first was Professor Mrs. Adebowale. That was in October 11, 2011. Most welcome. Not only that, Professor Fasoranti is the pioneer and immediate past dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences. I can see that, Auntie, very smiling there. Distinguished principal officers of this university, the deans, directors, professors, HODs and HOUs, staffers and our dear students, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor, once again, you are all welcome to the 24th inaugural lecture of our university. At this juncture, without wasting much of your time, let me invite to the microphone Mr. Vice Chancellor of this university, Professor Olubenga Ike, as he presents the inaugural lecture today, Professor Mary Modupe Fasoranti. Mr. and Mrs., just want to note that the 24th edition is the 9th edition you'll be presiding over. Let's give a round of applause for the Vice Chancellor.
Recording in progress.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, we want to for the microphone, sir.
Very much. You may have your seats. The Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, University Registrar, the author, University Librarian, the inaugural lecturer, Professor Mrs. Fasoranti, Dean of Faculty, Directors, distinguished professors, Kabisi, the Alaja Fakulty, former Deputy Vice Chancellors, Professor Mrs. Adebowale, and Professor Oyebade, heads of departments are present. My Lord Spiritual, members of the immediate and extended family of the Fasorantis are here present. Members of the university community, staff and students, particularly at Hydra-headed University. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 24th inaugural lecture of Hydra-headed University at Bakuko, Ondo State. The inaugural lecture represents a significant milestone in the career of a professor, serving as a symbolic passage into the realm of academic excellence and scholarly achievement. Today, we have the distinct pleasure of celebrating Professor Mary Modupe Fasoranti. Exceptional contributions to the field of development economics through our lecture titled Rural Poverty, Incapacitating the Hydra-headed Monster. The significance of this occasion cannot be overstated, as it provides a platform for us to honor the remarkable accomplishments of Professor Mrs. Fasoranti and acknowledge her invaluable contributions to academia. Lecture promises not only to shed light on groundbreaking research, but also to offer profound insights to the complex issues surrounding rural poverty, a critical concern in the field of development economics. Professor Mrs. Modupe Fasoranti's academic journey is a testament to her unwavering commitment to scholarly excellence. And the Bachelor of Science degree in economics, Master's degree in economics from the great University of Benin, as well as a Doctor of Philosophy, PhD in Agricultural Economics from the Federal University of Technology, Accra. He embarked on a journey marked by dedication, perseverance, and scholarly rigor. Since joining our university in 1988, at the then Ondo State University as an assistant lecturer, Professor Fasoranti has traversed the academic environment, ascending through the ranks to attain the distinguished position of professor in 2016. Throughout her illustrious career, Professor Fasoranti has demonstrated his steadfast commitment to advancing knowledge and nurturing the next generation of scholars. Her prolific academic outputs, including contributions to numerous books, edited volumes, and over 50 scholarly articles, underscores her intellectual progress and scholarly evidence. Additionally, her role as a mentor and guide to over 30 postgraduate students exemplifies her dedication to fostering academic excellence and intellectual growth. As the pioneer and immediate president of the Faculty of the Social Sciences, Professor Fasoranti has also served the university in over 30 different capacities. He attended several local and international conferences, including the International Conference on Economics, Finance and Management Outlook in Malaysia, the Annual International Conference on Emerging Research Trends in Social Sciences, Humanities and Management Studies in Ghana, and the NSFR 4th International Conference on the effect of global economic and financial reforms on developed economies in the assessments of landmark university in Kwara State. Testifying to our impact and influence within the academic community, he has received numerous awards from students' associations at both the faculty and departmental levels. The most recent accolade was the award of Most Respected Lecturer bestowed upon her by the Social Science Student Association in 2023. She is a member of several professional boards, including the Nigerian Economic Society, the Social Science Council of Nigeria, the Nigerian Society for Financial Research, and the International Research and Development Institutes. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here today, let us not only celebrate the intellectual journey of Professor Mary Modupe Fasoranti, but also draw inspiration from her example. Let our lecture serve as a beginning of academic excellence, inspiring us all to pursue knowledge with passion, dedication, and integrity. In her insights on rural poverty, ignite meaningful discourse, and catalyze positive change in our society. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I express my heartfelt gratitude to Professor Mrs. Fasoranti for her unwavering dedication to scholarship, and I commend her for her outstanding contributions to academia. Let us now eagerly anticipate her lecture, Rural Poverty, Incapacitating the Hydra-headed Monster, as we embark on the journey of discovery and enlightenment. Thank you all, and happy Easter.
Members of the University Governing Council, Deputy Vice Chancellors, the Registrar, the Board, the University Librarian, the Dean of Postgraduate School, Dean of Faculties and Student Affairs, Directors and Heads of Departments, Professors and other distinguished members of Senate, Royal Fathers and Mothers, other categories of the university staff, special guests, family members, friends of the university, great AAUA students, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with much gratitude to God that I stand before you and this congregation to present this inaugural lecture today. I give all the glory and honor to the Most High God for His love, mercy, and goodness on me. I have lived a very quiet and simple life, and everything about me has been a product of God's grace, mercy, and favor. My early educational journey was characterized with lots of deprivations. If not for God, I would have dropped out of school in Form 2, not because of academic failure, but due to issues beyond my immediate grasp. I grew up at a time when many felt that the girl child education was a waste of time and resources. Thanks be to God and my parents, and some members of the extended family, by whose assistance I was able to complete schooling successfully despite all odds on the way. My lecturing career started in 1988 when I joined the services of the defunct Ondo State University, Hydra-headed, as an assistant lecturer in the Department of Economics, as the first female lecturer in the Faculty of the Social Sciences. The journey from the post of an assistant lecturer to the professorial cadre was laced with many bumps and long years of waiting. A time came when I thought all the conflicts were over, appointment paper received, and testimony shared, only for that joy to be almost completed. At this point, Mr. Vice Chancellor, I must say a very big thank you for your quick intervention and the way you handled the issues I had thought would take another long period of waiting before they could be resolved. I cannot easily forget how you calmed our affairs that afternoon in your office. God bless you, sir. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, please permit me to say a few things about economics as a discipline. Economics, being a dynamic field of study, had attracted different definitions, 3 of which are given below. Adam Smith, 1776. Economics is an inquiry into the nature and causes of the wealth of nations. Alfred Marshall, 1890. Economics is the study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. Daniel Robbins, 1932. Economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and means which have alternative uses. Interpreting these 3 definitions, economics can simply be defined as the study of how scarce resources are located among alternative human wants, which are varied and insatiable over time, and how such are used to satisfy those wants as fully as possible. Economics is broadly divided into 2, microeconomics and macroeconomics, and it has different subject heads, namely public sector economics, labor economics, monetary economics, international economics, petroleum and energy economics, development economics, quantitative economics, operational research, agricultural economics, environmental economics, and business economics. My research interest is in development economics. An attempt to define development often ends up in some ambiguities. This is because development tends to be associated with different policy goals. What one chooses to define and understand as development is a matter of what one values as the country's policy goals. Economists have provided different perspectives of what development is. The liberal economy saw development as the planned alteration of the structure of production and employment so that agriculture's share of both declines while that of manufacturing and service industries increase. Simply stated, they saw development as rapid industrialization. This view led to the much emphasis on rapid industrialization at the expense of agriculture by the different governments of the less developed countries. Hence, prior to the 70s, development was seen as an economic phenomenon in which rapid gains through economic growth will trickle down to the masses in form of job and other economic opportunities. Mr. Vice Chancellor, the definition of development that mostly interested me is the new economic view, which defines development in terms of reduction or elimination of poverty, inequality, and unemployment within the context of a growing economy. This definition brought about the popular idea of the distribution from growth. According to Dr. Sears, the question to ask about a country's development are what has been happening to poverty, what has been happening to unemployment, what has been happening to inequality. If all these 3 have declined from high levels, then we can say development has taken place. However, if 1 or 2 of these problems have been growing worse, and especially if the 3, it will be strange to call the result development even if per capita income or gross domestic product has doubled. In Sears' words, reduction in poverty, unemployment, and inequality can guarantee human personality. To the ordinary man in the streets, rising gross domestic product has no meaning if it does not afford him access to health services, food, education for his children, and security of lives and properties. Mr. Vice Chancellor, this inaugural lecture has been titled rural poverty incapacitating the Hydra-headed monster. Poverty has become an issue of concern to individuals, households, and nations all over the world. The mention of poverty stirs up a lot of misgivings in people's hearts due to its devastating effects. No one wants to be associated with poverty. Hence, many get involved in legitimate and illegitimate means of escape. To the individuals, poverty could result into mental, physical, emotional, and social stress. To the society at large, poverty is a serious menace that brings destruction to the socio-economic fabrics of a nation. Poverty depresses economic growth and is associated with many social problems such as crime of diverse kinds, social and moral decadence, suicide, banditry, and many more. The above explained the importance of this lecture, which considered the meaning, causes, dimensions, and effects of poverty, past government efforts at elevating rural poverty, and my findings on possible solutions to reducing poverty. What is poverty? Poverty is multifaceted in that its reflections are in diverse forms. Hence, it is described as a Hydra-headed concept that means different things to different people in different ages, places, and climes. As to 2015 World Bank 1995 defines poverty as a pronounced deprivation in well-being, with reflections in low income, low levels of health and education, poor accessibility to clean water and sanitation services, inadequate physical security, lack of voice, and insufficient capacity and opportunities to improve one's life. Other scholars, such as Maxwell, 1999, Ido, 2003, Ogunleye, 2004, and Oladuni, 1990, have provided different perceptions on the meaning of poverty. Adeoye, 2003, echoes the voices of people from different parts of the world as they define poverty according to their peculiar situations. This shows that poverty is generally defined according to individuals' perception and experience. Mr. Vice Chancellor, poverty cannot be defined in a straight line sentence. If everyone sitting here is given the opportunity to give a definition, each person will definitely have something different to say. In most cases, the definition will depend on who is defining it and for what purpose. It is also a product of what criteria are used to define the poverty line. Therefore, a poor man here may be a rich man there. Generally, a person's perception of poverty is a function of his or her present experience, condition of his or her environment, the aim of such definition, his or her vocation, and the definition of the good life. Therefore, summarizing the above and many other definitions, one can say that poverty is a state of lack, often associated with needs, hardship, unfulfilled expectations, social exclusion, pronounced deprivations, and deficiency of resources, which hinder the basic needs required for long-term physical, economic, and social well-being. Mr. Vice Chancellor, the devastating effects of poverty cannot be overemphasized. The World Health Organization described it as the world's deadliest disease and suffering that brings its destructive influence on every stage of life. Poverty is actually dehumanizing. The poor man has no voice in the society. He is psychologically and emotionally distressed, faces danger of sicknesses, diseases, and untimely death, lacks political influence and personal recognition. The poor are always the downtrodden elements in the society and often used as political threats. UNICEF 2006 argues that poverty should not be part of any civilized society. Quoting from his speech, poverty deserves only to be in the museums, where small children can see it in the future and be shocked how they allow such an inhuman condition to exist for so many people for long. Categories, dimensions, and causes of rural poverty. Poverty is broadly categorized into 5. Number 1, absolute poverty, also known as extreme or abject poverty, is a situation in which an individual is faced with absolute lack of resources, coupled with food insecurity, homelessness, and lack of access to medical care. Absolute poverty is measured using poverty line beyond which a person is considered poor. The poverty line is defined in terms of a certain amount required to attain a minimum standard of living. Examples include $1 per day, $1.90 per day, and of recent, it has been increased to $2.15 per day. However, fixing a poverty line may not aptly describe the level of poverty in all places. Number 2, relative poverty. This is defined from social perspective. It is comparing living standards with economic standards of population living in a given environment. When a person is unable to live up to a particular carved out living standards in a place, such a person is considered poor. For example, people living in Lekki Peninsula, Ikoyi, or Banana Island in Lagos seem to be living a defined life in terms of the type of vehicles, buildings, schools attended by children, and social life. Once a person does not fit into this circle, he or she is relatively poor, regardless of the actual standard of living. Relative poverty is measured as the percentage of population with income less than some fixed proportion of median income. Number 3, situational poverty. It is a type of poverty that is regarded as temporary poverty. It occurs due to a set of unanticipated adverse circumstances. For instance, serious health problems, environmental disaster, loss of job, failure of business, death of a loved one, etc. All these lead to sudden decrease in income. Number 4, generational poverty. This poverty handed over to individuals and families from generations to generations. It occurs in families where at least 2 generations have been born into poverty. It is like a cycle of poverty around the family generations. Number 5, self or man-made poverty. This is a type of poverty created through mismanagement of available resources, reckless lifestyle, laziness, indolence, ineptitude, lack of foresight and wantonness, natural and social deficiencies. There has been no consensus as to what the dimension of poverty should be or how many indices are sufficient. This is because poverty is multifaceted and Hydra-headed in nature. The indices are as many as the different definitions given to poverty. Simply put, poverty covers lack of good nutrition, housing, safety, clothing, health, income, education, literacy, sanitation, clean water and environment, social prejudice and exclusion, and inability to participate in decisions on relevant matters. Mr. Vice Chancellor, the worst aspect of rural poverty is its high prevalence among women. Generally, the women folks are regarded as the center of poverty. The high poverty rate among women is a result of gender inequality, that is, unequal opportunities in relation to access to education, paid work, and property ownership. According to Rense et al. 2018, poverty rates are lower in countries where many women have income of their own. Fasoranti 2019 also attests to the fact that gender inequality enhances poverty. Government efforts are alleviating poverty in Nigeria. The various governments of Nigeria have embarked on so many poverty alleviation programs over the years. Many of these programs achieved their objectives to some extent, but the effects did not last long as they fizzled away with time. Several of them have been disbanded and forgotten. Some restructured, while others have become inactive. The failure of these programs to alleviate poverty could be due to reasons relating to failure on the part of the government and the recipients. Research contributions to poverty reduction. Mr. Vice Chancellor, my research contributions to poverty reduction revolved around output growth, rural employment, productive agriculture, use of microcredit, small-scale businesses, rural savings mobilization, growth of non-governmental organizations and households, development of social infrastructure, and price stability, among others. 1. Output growth through economic growth and poverty reduction. Economic growth has been described as the most effective weapon of getting people out of poverty. Experiences in China, India, and Mozambique showed the power of poverty and power of growth in reducing poverty incidence. Action on 2019 considered economic growth, inequality, and poverty in Nigeria. I found out that the benefits of growth have not really trickled down to the masses in Nigeria as speculated. Growth in Nigeria has actually increased the level of poverty, as the benefits of growth are concentrated in the hands of the few rich, while the majority still wallows in abject poverty. The major reason I identified in the study is the increase in inequality. In other words, growth in Nigeria increased inequality, which is a major cause of poverty. The fact that the growth in the economy has not benefited the poor in Nigeria is not because growth in output does not have the capacity to do so. It is because all things have not been equal as claimed in economics in Nigeria. Many countries have been able to reduce poverty level through output growth, as stated earlier in the lecture. Number 2, generation of employment. One of the expected outcomes of growth is employment generation. Unfortunately, the relationship between growth and employment has been weakened in Nigeria by many macroeconomic factors such as high inflation, import-oriented consumption, and weak balance between agriculture, manufacturing, and service industries. As a result, growth in Nigeria can best be described as a jobless growth. Educated youth unemployment is a new dimension which emerged in the early 80s and has grown worse over the years. Fasoranti 2020 and Fasoranti 2016 identified limited education, years of experience, finance, necessary skills, smallness of the financial sector, and rural-urban migration as some of the major causes of youth unemployment in Nigeria. Nonetheless, some respite came with the deregulation of the telecommunication sector, when many young school leavers embarked on folk businesses, sale of DSM accessories, and phone repairs. Fasoranti 2020 showed a reduction in urban unemployment with the deregulation of this sector. Most of the operators were youth below age 40 years, and majority were unemployed before the deregulation. The DSM business was found to be profitable, as evidenced from the gross margin and mean net returns. Number 3, agriculture and poverty reduction. Productive agriculture is central to employment generation and poverty reduction, especially in rural areas. Crop farming has been found to increase the livelihood of the rural poor. One staple crop that has gained increasing popularity over the years is cassava. It has become a regular item in many household diets in the country and a major source of income and employment for many people in the rural areas. Adenola Fasoranti Arojo 2016 reported that cassava-based cropping systems were quite profitable in the study area, as shown by the net returns per hectare. With this, the problem of hunger, poverty, and malnutrition could be removed. Similar studies by Fasoranti Arojo 2006b, Fasoranti 2004, and Fasoranti 2016 confirmed the important role of crop farming in reducing poverty in rural areas. Small-scale cassava processing has also been found as a means of reducing poverty among rural dwellers. Fasoranti 2009 confirmed that dairy processing enhanced the income of processors, giving the high gross margins and net returns. Microcredits and poverty reduction. Mr. Vice Chancellor, one of the major problems for rural development is the lack of rural credit facilities from the farmer sector due to unavailability of required collateral securities. Fasoranti 2010 confirmed the potency of microcredit in reducing poverty incidence in Ondo State. My findings show that the scheme brought great improvements in the living standards of the beneficiaries. There was marked improvement in the major macroeconomic variables such as income, savings, consumption, and acquisition of fixed assets for the beneficiaries. Fasoranti 2016, in an earlier study, also affirmed the relevance of microcredit in poverty alleviation. Small-scale businesses have also been confirmed as a panacea to poverty reduction in rural areas. Fasoranti, Akinlola, and Ajibefun 2006F and Fasoranti 2007A established the role of credit in improving the resource use efficiency of small-scale businesses. Fasoranti and Adelapo 2013, Fasoranti and Aziz 2017B, and Fasoranti and Aziz 2018A also reasserted the role of microcredit in making small-scale businesses providers of employment. Rural savings mobilization and poverty reduction. Mr. Vice Chancellor, savings mobilization is normally in form of rotating savings, daily contribution, cooperative trips, and credit societies. Fasoranti 2014A showed that rural savings impacted positively on major poverty indices in the study area: nature and type of house, cooking method, healthcare facilities, income, house ownership, and type of schools attended by children. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, Assembly concluded that rural savings mobilization is an indispensable means of alleviating poverty in the rural areas. Membership of cooperative societies have also been found to reduce poverty in rural areas through investment in small-scale businesses. Fasoranti 2007B showed that 56% of the respondents used the credit obtained to either improve or establish their businesses, while the rest was used for human development, that is, self and children education, and other unspecified purposes. Moreover, credit obtained impacted positively on investments, asset acquisition, human development, and personal income. Also, Fasoranti 2014B discovered that membership of cooperative societies will lead to economic repositioning of members, and our members are likely to escape poverty by using the credit obtained from the society to purchase assets and invest in business. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, cooperative societies have also impacted positively on non-farm businesses in the rural areas. Furthermore, and Fasoranti 2018C consider the effects of credits from cooperative societies on non-farm activities among rural dwellers of Ondo South Senatorial District. The performance of non-farm businesses in the study area was positively affected by the total credit received from cooperative societies. The implication is that credit sourced from cooperative societies enhance the performance of non-farm businesses and consequently reduce the poverty indices in the study area. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, all these findings show that rural savings mobilization through cooperative societies or other means are key players that can positively affect the lives of rural dwellers. The experience from the various cooperative societies in the AAUA can authenticate all these submissions. Roles of non-governmental organizations and households in poverty reduction. Recognizing the economic implications of poverty and the failure of the past government efforts, some non-governmental organizations also rose up to the occasion. Such NGOs include Country Women Association of Nigeria, (COMA), Farmers Development Union, (FADU), and Women Farmers Association of Nigeria, (COFAM), to mention just a few. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, worthy of note is the Country Women Association of Nigeria. Fasoranti 2008 examined the effects of common poverty alleviation programs on rural women in Ondo State and discovered that loans facilities from COMA had positive influence on the level of income, while the result of the return to scale analysis showed efficient utilization of the loans. There was improvement in asset acquisition status of the respondents, as the percentage of ownership of personal buildings rose by 27%. The point I'm making here is that non-governmental organizations have the capability of contributing to poverty alleviation when given the necessary enabling environment. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, members of the households are not left out in the effort to alleviate poverty. Fasoranti 2015C examining gender differentials in household poverty reduction activities in Ondo State. In that study, identified that poverty reduction activities include household food preparation, care of infants, farm labor, trading or street vending, hired labor, cooking, home attendance, and so on. All these help to reduce the outflows of income from the family, thereby reducing poverty incidence in the family. Development of social infrastructure. Social infrastructure has to do with facilities and services that enhance the quality of life and well-being of individuals, households, and society at large. Social infrastructure, also known as soft infrastructure, includes education, health, water, housing, environmental, and transportation facilities. All these are requisites to human development, which is a potent weapon in alleviating poverty. However, Fashion 2012A showed that public expenditures on health services, transport, and communication reduced growth in Nigeria. This could be attributed to misappropriation and diversion of public funds, and the fact that the percentage of budgetary allocation to the provision of social infrastructure has been abysmally and ridiculously low over the years. Fashion 2015B noted that the highest percentage allocated to health between 1974 and 2002 was 6.2%, which fell to 5.3% in 2012. Up till now, the allocation has not measured up to the World Bank's prescribed 15%. However, a few years later, Inaugural and Fashion 2023 considered the relationship between public spending on health and education and poverty reduction between 1985 and 2020. The study showed a negative relationship between government spending on health and education and poverty, implying that government spending on the two services has reduced poverty both in the short and the long runs. In summary, all things being equal, government spending on health and education will reduce poverty level in Nigeria. Mr. Vice Chancellor, electricity is another critical infrastructure of sustainable economic growth, development, and poverty reduction. However, inadequate provision of power, its epileptic supply, and unfair and high electricity billing are put undue pressure on households and small-scale businesses, thus increasing poverty incidence. Fashion Anime and 2022B showed that the introduction of the prepaid meters led to a reduction in expenditure on electricity and consequently a reduction in poverty incidence. I must add that the higher percentage of income spent on electricity, the higher incidence of poverty. Price stability. Mr. Vice Chancellor, the maintenance of price stability is one of the three major goals of government. Its achievement will tell much about the health of the economy, especially the consumers. Price instability, especially for essential commodities, impacts negatively on consumer welfare. Fashion Analysis 2015 evaluated the effects of these fluctuations on the country as an importer of petroleum products. Findings show that fluctuations in prices of petrol and kerosene have detrimental effects on consumer welfare. A 1% increase in petrol price will lead to a reduction in consumer welfare by 4.4%, while a 1% increase in kerosene price will cause 0.4% reduction. Recommendations. The prevalence of poverty is a major issue, undermining the role of the rural economy in the overall development of the nation. Several attempts have been made to incapacitate this rural Hydra-headed monster with no visible lasting results. Many reasons for Nigeria's perennial poverty and possible way out through my contribution to research have been examined also. From my research, I hereby suggest the following as the means of redeeming the rural areas from the throes of poverty. Number one, economic growth must occur on a consistent basis. As such must address the needs of the poor, increase the access to basic services, employment, income-generating opportunities, and reliable market for output. For effectiveness, economic growth must be inclusive, and the gains from growth must flow down to the poor masses. It should be noted that the pattern and stability of economic growth matter much in dealing with poverty. Capital-intensive and urban-based growth cannot reduce poverty. Only agricultural-based growth and labor-intensive technology have the capacity to reduce poverty. Number two, deliberate efforts should be made to reduce income and gender inequalities. Where these types of inequalities exist, poverty will remain unabated, no matter how many laudable policies are put in place. Number three, policies aimed at poverty reduction should be community-based. Community involvement should not be limited to receiving, but should also involve actual participation in setting the priorities and objectives for such programs. There must be wide consultation with the affected community to assess the urgent needs of the target population. Direct involvement of the poor in the identification, design, and implementation of poverty reduction policies will guarantee adequate, efficient management and equitable distribution of resources. Number four, concerted efforts to be directed towards developing the agricultural sector and the rural economy. No nation can thrive without adequate attention to agriculture and rural areas. Number five, creation of enabling environments to encourage the establishment of employment-generating micro and small-scale businesses in rural areas. Policies like tax holiday, access to loans with low interest rates, low cost inputs, power supply, and so on should be put in place. Number six, massive public works. Most of the rural poor depend largely on wage labor, as they possess no assets apart from their physical labor. Public works will afford them the opportunity to earn income, especially during farm off seasons, to enhance consumption, thus avoiding transient poverty. Number seven, on the part of the poor, there must be attitudinal change towards government poverty reduction programs, especially credit facilities. It must be used for the purpose for which they are given. The poor should avoid the habit of laziness, indolence, expecting people to give to them without lifting any finger to work out their own destiny. The practice of reporting in low repayment should be adequately punished. Number eight, access to many poverty reduction programs has been found to be limited due to laid down prerequisites fashioned in 2016. For effectiveness, the same prerequisites should be relaxed to accommodate more people to access the benefit. Moreover, political, ethnic, and tribal considerations contributed to the failure of most programs, as noted in Fashion's 2010 scene. Therefore, government poverty reduction programs should be diverted from partisan politics so as to reach the target population. Number nine, elevating poverty demands a holistic approach. This is because it is Hydra-headed and multi-dimensional. The government or policymakers must study and understand the dimensions of poverty in the affected area before deciding on which program to adopt. This underscores the importance of getting the target population involved in the whole process of alleviating poverty. Other contributions to the extension of frontiers of knowledge. Mr. Vice Chancellor, apart from my research works on poverty reduction and other poverty-related issues, I have also contributed to research on other topical issues in economics that indirectly affect poverty reduction. When such issues are properly handled, it will result in increased employment and consequently poverty reduction. Such studies include tax productivity and growth, Fashion 2015, optimal government debt and economic performance, Fashion 2019, trade openness, Fashion 2015, inflation, Fashion Anime 2014, energy and private domestic investment, Akindele and Fashion 2018, globalization and the Nigerian economy, Fashion 2010, trade policy, Benite and Fashion 2019, fiscal policies, Fasoranti and Amasoma 2019 and 2013, Fasoranti 2016, and Akindele and Fasoranti 2017. Financial Development and Inequality, Aladegano and Fasoranti 2019. These studies have provided literatures for further studies, and the recommendations are of policy relevance. My contribution to capacity building and mentoring. Mr. Vice Chancellor, in the course of my teaching over the years, I have made significant contributions to capacity building and mentoring. I have successfully supervised and graduated 24 MSc students and co-supervised one PhD student in economics department AAUA. Presently, I have 3 PhD students who are working on their proposals. Apart from this, many of my former students are doing very well in different sectors within and outside the country. Mr. Vice Chancellor, presently, I have many of my former students lecturing in various universities. What pleases me most is that many of them have attained the esteemed professorial cadre in their various institutions. Moreover, I have contributed to the elevation of many colleagues through assessment of professorial cadre within AAUA and other universities. I have served as external examiner for MSc, MPhil, and PhD oral examinations in many universities, and as external examiner for undergraduate programs. I was a reviewer of CBN Statistical Journal for many years. In the area of administration, I have served as the head of economics department many times, presiding several academic sessions, though non-consecutively. During my tenure, the department became the most stable and peaceful department in the defunct Faculty of Social and Management Sciences. By the grace of God and the cooperation of other members of the department, I was able to secure full accreditation for the department 2 times. Also, I was seconded to head the Department of Accounting in 2008 when the department had issues with accreditation. By God's grace, the department secured full accreditation before I returned to my department in 2010. I have served in various committees of the University and Faculty of the Social Sciences. By the grace of God, I became the first female professor in the defunct Faculty of Social and Management Sciences in the year 2016. Also, the pioneer and first female dean in the Faculty of the Social Sciences. Above all, I am very happy and thankful to God and the Vice Chancellor who have allowed me to be the second female professor to present the inaugural lecture at this university. Conclusion. Mr. Vice Chancellor, it is no more an exaggeration to say that poverty is the basic malady of the rural areas in Nigeria. The poor are generally located in rural areas where agriculture and agriculture-related services are the major means of livelihood. The worst thing is that women and children make up a substantial majority of the poor in rural areas. To address the menace of poverty, a holistic approach is required. According to Roger, the author of the Big Push theory of development, a minimum quantum of investment is required for a takeoff into development. The likely development to the takeoff of an aeroplane, which must gather a minimum velocity of 720 km/h speed on the runway before taking off into the space. If not, there is the possibility of crash landing. Therefore, workable policies at reducing poverty must address all dimensions of poverty simultaneously. The best way to achieve this is through massive development of the rural economy, and this must be all-encompassing: economic, social, political, cultural, and behavioral aspects. Acknowledgements. The Vice Chancellor, permit me to start my acknowledgements by first of all appreciating God for His abundant mercy, love, favor, and kindness that brought me to this moment in my life. I really cannot quantify what He has done for me. Without Him, I would have been less than nothing. To Him be all the glory forever and ever. Amen. I appreciate the Vice Chancellor Professor Modupe Fasoranti, for providing the enabling environment to present this inaugural lecture. I am also grateful to you, sir, for the role you played during the last stage of my appointment as a professor into the Department of Economics and for approving my election as the pioneer dean of the Faculty of the Social Sciences. The Almighty God will bless you and your family richly and grant you a successful tenure. I also extend my appreciation to other principal officers, Professor Olusegun Akinwumi, DBC Academics, Professor Davidson Daramola, DBC Administration, Mr. Lubenga Rajulu, the Registrar, Mr. Tobi Orina, the University Bossa, and Dr. Mrs. Donny Alonfemi, the University Librarian. At this point, I want to express my profound gratitude to Professor J. Fabayo for the pivotal role he played in getting me into the lecturing career and the many encouraging words when climbing up the ladder to the peak. My appreciation goes to my PhD supervisors, Professor Eson A. Adeniola and co-supervisor Professor S. Odo. Thanks so much for the efforts made to make the thesis the best it will be and your constant interest in my career. I appreciate all my lecturers at the University of Benin, especially late Dr. P. Omorubiwa, who taught me public sector and development economics and also supervised my MSc dissertation. I acknowledge and appreciate Professor I.A. Hydra-headed for his role in processing my papers and appointments into the professorial cadre. Thank you, sir. I cannot also forget the roles of Professor S. Salomfemi, O.A. Afolabi, Benson Akinowonu, and Yemisi Adebowade at the periods of my distress when no one was ready to listen to me. The good Lord will prosper your ways and raise help for you at every point of your lives. Special thanks to all professors, heads of departments, and other academic and non-teaching staff members in the Faculty of the Social Sciences. You all made my tenure as the Dean of the Faculty a very successful one. Special appreciation to my active, vibrant, and hardworking sub-dean, Dr. Mrs. C. Ade Johnson. I appreciate the staff in the Dean's office using Mrs. B. Abe, Faculty Officer, as point of contact. I quite appreciate your cooperation during my tenure and also remember and appreciate the contribution of late Mrs. Bosede Olaniro. Her death was such a huge loss to the faculty. Similarly, I appreciate all members of staff in the Faculty of Administration and Management Sciences. Special regards to late Professor Felix Onuopishe and all staff in the Department of Accounting. I also acknowledge the deans, directors, and other members of Senate. Thank you for your prayers and words of encouragement since I was given the date for this inaugural lecture. I sincerely appreciate all academic and non-teaching staff in the Department of Economics using Dr. Mrs. T.P. Fasoranti, Head of Department, as point of contact. Thanks for your support, for the support rendered to enhance the success of this inaugural lecture. God bless you all. My profound appreciation goes to all my past and present students at the undergraduate and postgraduate levels, many of whom are seated here today and those connected online. I appreciate your goodwill messages and support for the success of this inaugural lecture. Regards to all the alumni of the Economics Department, AAUA, and the defunct Ondo State University on the different platforms, I greatly appreciate your support. Many thanks to all the past Vice Chancellors, under whom I served as Head of the Department of Economics, Professor F. Akere, Professor Dr. Modupe Fasoranti, Professor Engo Mimiko, and Professor I.A. Hydra-headed. Thanks for the opportunity to learn administration and contribute to the development of the university community. My sincere appreciation to Professor Benson Goyin, Dr. Kayode Taiwo, and Professor Shola Olorunfemi for their time in going through the manuscripts. God bless you. Special appreciation goes to all my spiritual fathers and mothers in the Deeper Life Bible Church, especially General Superintendent, Pastor Dr. W.F. Umi. Thanks so much for your teachings on patience and faith in God. This served as pillars during the period of my prolonged waiting. I also appreciate the state overseers, regional overseers, group and district pastors, women coordinators, and members of the Deeper Life Bible Church in Ondo and Ekiti states, here seated or connected on social media, using pastors Ashubiojo and Oguni and their wives as point of contact. Thanks so much for your prayers. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I want to express my profound gratitude to my parents, my daddy, late Mr. Michael Oladile Omotori Ogun, and my mommy, Mrs. Emily Adejepo, who passed on to glory early this month. Mommy made all efforts to see me through my school days, despite the financial challenges at that time. Mama, I thank you so much for going the extra mile for me not to end as a dropout. But I must say that I am seriously pained that you are not here today to be celebrated. My special regards to my elder brother, Mr. S.C. Omotoru, and his family. Thanks for being there for me during periods of chronic needs and for your special interest in my academic progress. Also using my point of contact to all members of the Omotoru's family. I also appreciate all my fathers and mothers' children here seated. I appreciate all my people from Ikira-Akoko, in and outside the university community, especially Ikira Progressive Union, Akoko, and Wow, and My appreciation also goes to Dr. M.S. Ayemu, former registrar at Adachi University. Special regards to the Honorable Commissioner of Justice and Attorney General of Ondo State, Dr. Ayode Ojubo. Much appreciation goes to my maternal family members, using Pastor Festus Ibekube, Mrs. Yamisi Disu, and Mrs. Margaret Omowaye as point of contact. God bless you all. I greatly appreciate my father-in-law, the late Shibio Fashions. It pains that you are not here to attend this inaugural lecture, which you fondly timed in William. I thank God for the time we spent together. My special appreciation goes to my sweet and loving mother-in-law, the late Madam Juliana Pike Fashions. Mama, your memory is really blessed. I appreciate the head of the entire Fashions dynasty, Chief Arel Fashions. I pray the good Lord to prolong your days in good health. I also appreciate Auntie Fumi Fashions and all the other Baba and Yaokos in the family. I also value the love of His Royal Highness, Oba Olufemi Falaye and Olori Falaye, and our caring cousin, Honorable Olarewaju Akeredolu, former Chief Justice of Ondo State. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Special appreciation to the head of our family, Mr. CBK Fashions, using me as point of contact to all my Baba and Yaokos in the big family. My appreciation also goes to my husband's siblings, using Mr. and Mrs. Tayo Fashions as point of contact. Thanks so much for your cooperation and love. My sincere gratitude to my in-laws, Madam Ola Oshepekon, and Pastor and Mrs. Falabade. God bless you all. I sincerely appreciate all friends, relations, neighbors, acquaintances, all members of the university community, royal fathers, police, and professors from other universities, AAUA students, and everyone seated here to attend this inaugural lecture. God bless you and grant you journey mercies back home. I appreciate my beautiful jewels in the family, Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Felix and Mrs. Olabusola, Mr. Olabusola Fashions, Mr. Victor and Mrs. Olukumi Falakade connected online, Mr. James Pandele Fashions and Ms. Olade Fashions. Thanks so much for making life easy for me. Regards to my lovely grandchildren, Irene Tamwa, Bodesire, Irene Timleyin, and Enrique Olua. I also appreciate Mr. Felix Omodola Motorogu for being a dependable member of the family. Mr. Vice permit me to ask you to join me in appreciating somebody here, very unique and special to me. My better half, friend, brother, and husband. He is no other person than Professor Olayiwola Oluwaseyin Fashions. After God, he is next. He is loving, caring, understanding, and compassionate. As a matter of fact, he is God-giving answer to my prayers and a solid pillar to lean on. I appreciate him greatly for creating the enabling environment for me to get to where I am today. I pray the Almighty God to grant us longer time to live together in good health, joy, and happiness. Thank you so much. Permit me to end this lecture by singing this song to appreciate God for all He has done for me.
Thank you very much. Please, let's have our seats. You have just listened to Professor Mary Modupe Fasoranti, Professor of Development Economics, and that was 24th inaugural lecture at the Hydra-headed University. She spent 59 minutes. Let's put a hand together for her. The last inaugural lecture we had here, I think Professor Olotua created a kind of scene. And when he said his wife was named Babe, and when the Vice Chancellor again came to the microphone, the Vice Chancellor said, I can't remember my kids. And Professor Mrs. Fasoranti said, Prof is auntie. Better half. Congratulations. Please, let's put our hands together for her once again. Without wasting much of your time, let me invite again the Vice Chancellor of this university to the microphone for his closing remarks. Mr. Vinci.
Thank you very much once again. Thank you. Let me once again appreciate the inaugural lecturer, Professor Mrs. M. Fasoranti, for this thought-provoking lecture. One of the major challenges we are having in this country today is the issue of poverty. And she has adequately addressed solutions to poverty. I hope our government and leaders will listen. The essence of inaugural lecture is to bring out solutions to societal problems. And that's exactly what Professor Mrs. Fasoranti has done this afternoon. I want to thank you for being one of the best in this university. If you look at her opening remarks, I looked at it, she said, I give all the glory and honor to the Most High God for his love, mercy, and goodness on me. I have lived a very quiet and simple life. And everything about me has been a product of God's grace. I can attest to that statement. Many people, especially those in Senate, you don't know why I always put her legs during Senate meetings. Many people, I will tell you today, when I'm happy, I talk. And today I am happy. Professor Mrs. Fasoranti and I attended the greatest university of Benin. And so we have been public since the 80s. What she wrote here, this issue of living a quiet life and simple life, has been part of her since our undergraduate days. Though she was my senior in university, the husband also was my senior in the university. All of us attended the great University of Benin. The husband, Ayuola, was my friend. And he's still your friend. We were in the same room, Abuja hostel, in Univer. I was in 200 level, he was in 300 level. But the issue is that in those days, we have what we call squatters. You are only entitled to accommodation when you are in 100 level, in Univer. 100 level and 400 level. In 200 and 300, you find your way. So in 200 level, my junior at the Anglican Grammar School, Guru, was admitted to 200 level to read engineering. And so, he booked me in as a squatter. And then, some few days later, we saw Fasoranti and brought him as another squatter. So, one legitimate owner, two squatters. So, for me and that family, I've been coming for a very, very long time. Professor Fasoranti, the male and the female, loves reading books very, very much. They were always in the classrooms and the library. For me, since we were in the same room and only one bed, what I target every evening is to come early to the room and sit on the bed. When you see me in the library reading, I would come to the guest queue, staff quarters, to take Pandeliam and BB. I won't tell you what BB is. So before he comes back, I was already, so he would look for some guys to sleep on the floor. And then it got to 400 level. So we took at this study, that's the name of the engineering board, as his squad. One thing about this family is that they have been consistent in what they do. Professor Mrs. Fasoranti has been a devoted Christian from her undergraduate days. No one don't wonder today. She is what she is. The husband is also a very, very social person. But he is also, he has changed. When we were in the university, at 200 level, I was in 200 level, it was 300. It was from him that I knew that this is a country that is called Amsterdam. Every holidays, Nanny will travel to Amsterdam for holidays. And when he comes back, he bring and buy materials for us, those of us who are his friends in the room. And I will ask from him, Nanny Molotipo, Ibodolo, and Amsterdam. And when we go back, we do Amsterdam. So you will know the kind of bond between myself and this family. Professor Layi Fasoranti, I thank God for your life. For the husband to be a professor and for the wife to also be a professor takes a lot of commitment, a lot of passion, and a lot of dedication. All of this you have exemplified. Thank God for your life. Why I decided to say all of this is that your wife, your better half, said, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, permit me to ask you to help me. I appreciate you. And so that is why I have gone this far, to appreciate you. And I also thank your children. From what I read here, you also have grandchildren. And this kind of for recognition, children, grandchildren. Please, a round of applause for all of them. Congratulations. Congratulations. You are indeed a jewel of inestimable value, as your mommy said in her address. We pray that the good Lord will continue to uphold you and bless you. Your daddy is a professor, your mommy is a professor. You will become Professor Emeritus. Please have your seat. Kabiyesi, the Alale of Akungba Akoko, and for Sunday Adeyeye, the Ajimo 3. Kabiyesi, I thank you for coming. You are always here with us. This time, next month, June, I'm very, very much confident that you will also be here with us. Let me especially appreciate our mama, Olori Rachel Falai, the wife of our Kabiyesi, the Kabiyesi of Iluabo, and the Hydra of St. David's Cathedral. Thank you very much, ma'am. Ma'am, please give our felicitations to Baba when you get back to our prayer. Honorable Justice Lanre Akeredolu, the former Chief Judge of Ondo State, we also appreciate your presence. You're welcome. All members of Fasoranti family that are here, I only recognize one. Tayo, you are all together doing ability. I recognize you. And all other family members that are here, you are deeply appreciated. Thanks for coming. All regional pastors, members of Deeper Life Bible Church, we recognize your presence and we thank you for coming. I want to specifically appreciate and thank Pastor Ajibola, who is here with us. Thank you very much, Baba. Thank you, Baba. Good Lord will continue to abide in you. We recognize your prayers for us in this university, spanning several years. And I want to assure you that what you left behind, continue to pray for us in this university, God will furnish in several ways. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Praise the Lord. We also have in our midst another very, very prolific prayer warrior whose only duty every day is to pray for the prosperity and progress and development of this university. Talking about no other person than Pastor being Arotiba. And this is Arotiba. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Good Lord will continue to be with you. We also recognize your prayers for us. Doctor, I don't think whether, I'm not sure whether I should recognize Dr. Ebi because he's inaugural lecturer. I've already done that. Said all if you are progressive association. Dr. Ebi former registrar at the Ajashi University. Dr. Ebi apart from being the former registrar of this university, is also currently senior lecturer in the Faculty of Education. All the Omontolu and Kings family from Hydra-headed, you are here. We appreciate you. Please stand up for recognition. All Omontolu's family. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming. The Obasanya of the show, maternal head of Professor Fasoranti. You are welcome. Thank you. Imperial Progressive Union, they are here in their number. Dr. Gabriel E. Ayimoro, also there with us. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much. We have one of us who is somewhere else. Because this afternoon, the boxer, Federal University of Ekiti, Mrs. Bolanle Ajadu. Welcome. Thank you so much. Now that I've recognized the boss of the Federal University of Ekiti, let me also recognize our own former boss, Mrs. Ologun. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a long list, but the time is fast spent. I recognize all of you, and thank you for witnessing this 24th inaugural lecture. I want to inform you that the 25th inaugural lecture is in June. Last Tuesday, month of June. And the inaugural lecture, I want to specifically introduce to you Professor E.Y. Mbalewa, Dean of the Association. Ladies and gentlemen, June 2024, the inaugural lecture. I want to believe that the wife of the next inaugural lecturer must be here to see how the inaugural lecture is being conducted. If she's here, I want to also introduce and appreciate her. Is she here? Where? Good. We will be expecting you to ending. God willing. Ladies and gentlemen, I've come to the end of the 24th inaugural lecture at Hydra-headed University. And thank you all for coming. God bless you all. And see you back to your various destinations. Thank you.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, please let's have our seats just for 1 minute, please. Please don't leave the hall yet. Please. Stay back. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chancellor. I would have loved to ask Mr. Vice Chancellor one thing, because this afternoon I got another acronym, and that is PP. Mr. BC, what is PP, sir? Is it PP or PP? Okay? PP. Well, I'm sure you all know one thing about Mr. Vice Chancellor. You heard all what he said about Prof. He doesn't leave his good friends. Let's put our hands together for him again. Please, I have this announcement, and that is entertainment for staff and guests come up and opposite building here. That's the Student Relaxation Center. And for our dear students, that one will be at the 750 capacity building. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it all. We've come to the end of this important program. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor, I want to say thank you all for coming. Let's now rise as we take AAUA anthem and national anthem. Thank you. Let's remain standing as the Vice Chancellor procession leaves the hall in reverse order.